tonight. This is the first time that we are doing our UNKNOT podcast type show, but it is a live call-in show. And I wanted to create this. I've talked about it a little bit for the last couple of weeks. I wanted to create this as a place for you guys to be able to slow things down, talk things through what feels like mentally and emotionally draining right now or tangled up, right? A lot of us are carrying more than we can easily sort out on our own. And sometimes we get into overthinking and then we can't make heads or tails of what we should do. Now, this isn't therapy. I want to be clear on that. I'm not a therapist. I am a integrative healing master practitioner. What does that mean? I do things on a holistic perspective, mind, body, and spirit, right? So your whole system. So you can call and ask me about anything tonight. Anything. Hey, Miss Ashley over on YouTube. And we are going to pop up the call-in website because you're going to have to come through into our dashboard to be able to be brought up on air. But this is not about quick answers. Like, I go deep when I go with people. I'm very good at spotting patterns and listening. And a lot of times when I'm coaching somebody else, because I do group coaching, when I'm coaching somebody else through their stuff, people in the audience that are watching or listening actually get their own breakthroughs as well. So this is going to be interesting, right? And honestly, like, this is a safe space, so we're not putting up and tolerating a bunch of BS. I'm going to have to pay attention to two different screens, both TikTok and our regular stream on Facebook and YouTube. So if we get bots in here or we get people disrupting the chat, give me a minute to be able to block them. But if I'm in the middle of working with one of you that are on the air with me, I'm not going to worry about what goes on in the comments. I'm just not. So we'll just have to ignore them and let them do their body thing. So I apologize for that. Just ignore them, though. I will catch it if I can. All right. So, and y'all on TikTok will not let me stream through my software right now. For whatever reason, it took the permissions away, and I've been trying to work with their tech support, and they're saying they don't, like, I have to wait 30 days. I don't even know. They won't tell me why. So if you guys want to call in, the easiest way that you're going to have to do it is to go watch us from the other platforms. And it's my links are in the bio. Just because if you want to call in, that is going to be the easiest way. If you want to see what's going on in the chat and on the other platforms too, easiest way. The link will be available, or if you are watching on YouTube and Facebook, if y'all see in the corner of the screen, there's a QR code. Take a picture of it with your phone if you're watching on your desktop or laptop, and you can easily just log right into our dashboard that way. And I'm going to put up on our regular, and if you're watching right now on TikTok or Facebook, you should be able to see the link to join as a caller. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, so again, tonight's the first time we're doing this, and it's a little unnerving just because I have to work between two different devices. I can't just have everything in one place. When we tested it the first time, it worked on all of the platforms, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. And then all of a sudden TikTok dropped out and said I didn't have permission. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But a lot of stuff on TikTok is messed up. So it is what it is. But my friend, Andy, is going to be producing the show. And for those of you on TikTok, you're not going to be able to see him, but I am actually going to bring him on over on our stream right now. Hey, Mr. Andy. You guys will be able to hear him.
Yeah. Hello. This is fun. Hi. I'm excited.
It's fun for you. It's like my brain is maxed out.
It's the natural extension of what you've been doing on TikTok for the last, year now, because you started in February of last year. So this is January. So it's a year. It's just a natural extension of what you've been doing. And you, like you say, you coach people, and that's what you do. And this is just a natural extension of that. And it gives people the opportunity to discover the great work that you're able to do too. So I think it's a win-win-win for everyone.
Ashley saying, Andy, can you guys
Hi.
over on TikTok hear Andy as he's talking? Is his volume up high enough? Because you're picking up on my speakers, not even picking, like, because I can't bring his audio into TikTok mobile because I'm streaming on another platform right now. But can you hear him? Okay. Jason's saying yes, he can hear you.
Oh,
All
cool.
right.
Hey, Jason.
He said, hey, Jason. So again, tonight's live stream is for our very first episode of UNKNOT. It's kind of like our pilot and test to see how well this works. And we asked people if they wanted this, and people said, yeah, it would be great. A lot of people can't afford to get the help that they're looking for right now, and I get that. So this is your opportunity to work with me. You know, you can be anonymous when you come on. We can change your name, and that's all going to be up to Andy. But if you do want to come on as a guest, call in someone and work through some stuff with me on air. Again, you're not going to have your camera up, just the audio. Tell Andy what name you want to go by. That's what he's going to put in there. You can come on and get coached, get some help.
And I sort of want to reinforce a point that you made about the sacred community and the fact that, and you know this because we've gone through a couple of episodes where after the sessions have been done, whether it was Hidden Wisdom or Charm Life, I told you that I had a moment of clarity when you were talking to somebody else and they were describing their circumstances. And as I was sitting there listening, I had my moment of clarity. So the sacred community that you've been able to create and the openness and the attitude of the room when we're in there, I think helps, and it's helped me immeasurably a number of different times uh, recognize other things, because sometimes we have a tough time when you're working with yourself by yourself and you're journaling, you're trying to do all the things that you're supposed to be doing. And I have discovered through this process with you that I work better with other people.
A lot of
Maybe
people
that's,
do.
yeah. So, and this is part of the process, and I would recommend and encourage people to take advantage of this, because I think it's a very safe way in which to discover things about yourself that maybe you didn't even recognize.
Yeah. Jason's saying he would call in if he wasn't working right now. That's cool. Hi, OMG. Welcome in. We are broadcasting both Facebook, YouTube, and then TikTok. I have to do through my phone because it is not integrating into my Restream software. So, you guys, if you guys want to get coached, you need some help clarifying some stuff. Maybe you got some blocks and you're not even sure why. Maybe you're stuck in anxiety. If you want to be able to call in, there's two ways, but the easiest way is to come watch me over on YouTube. There is a QR code up on the screen. There's also a link typed out on the screen. And Andy, you can put that link in the comments to make it easier for people. No, not on the ticker. Put it on the comments. If you can
Okay.
just cut and paste it from the notes onto the comments, make it easier for people to copy and paste it into their browser. And that will get you right into my studio. And within my studio, then Andy will assign you a name that's anonymous, or you can use your real name, totally up to you. It depends on what we're talking about. And then we will bring you up. And we'll work through whatever you guys want to talk about. And look, I have been working with people through some really deep issues that cause PTSD, trauma, all things, literally all things. But I also I do natural health coaching as well, but I'm root cause type person. So even if you're having stuff and you're like, I have all these things, they don't know what it is, or you're trying to change your health and you're not sure the best way to go about it, jump on and let's talk through it. You guys would be amazed how much I actually know, because I've been doing this for so long. Like I said, I've been doing this since 2000. But I got to turn my heater off. I'm all of a sudden getting hot, which is always a good sign the spirit's coming. But yeah, that's what tonight is about. Last night I did some teaching around Gnostic texts, but tonight we're gonna see if we can get going into this whole thing and see if I can help you guys. And Ashley, you're welcome to be a guest too. Like if you want to call in, you got stuff you want to talk through, walk through, whatever. I apologize for the people on TikTok. You guys are kind of gonna just be listening because there's very little I can do about popping things up like my QR code onto the screen for you to be able to screenshots. It's nearly impossible. But you can go watch me over on YouTube at Bernadette Gold #1 or The Gold Factor. I have 2 YouTube channels. We are broadcasting on both right now, the UNKNOT show. But because there's so much going on in the world too, I know a lot of people have a lot of fear. And when it comes to walking people through their fears and calming things down, and understanding where that fear is really coming from within you, I'm good at that too. I don't know what else to say, Mr. Andy. It's so weird trying to pop this in the first time and doing a pilot like this.
Well, we can begin probably just at the point that we always begin at, trying to describe how weird everything is now. And as we go through this process and for the folks that have been following the journey with you over the last year, when you talked about the deconstructing that was going to go on, that we've all followed through the last year, that you forecast even before it began to happen because of your cancer journey and how Spirit told you that you were going to sort of experience everything before we did. So you sort of knew exactly.
Yeah, I had a year head start, I think.
Yeah.
A little, about a year and a half head start.
And, you know, it's tough to describe. I mean, I'm in an industry where I do this for a living every single day. And the stuff that I see and we see and try to describe, it's tough. It's to try to describe the weirdness, to try to describe the emotions and the feelings and the anger or the feeling of helplessness. I guess that's probably the emotion most of us feel as we sit here and watch what's happening in Minneapolis and what happened
You're on
in
my
LA.
TikTok. I just flipped my camera, by the way.
That's okay. But you know, for a lot of us, we're watching this and we're trying to, as you say, so we can deal with it, put a name on it, so we can figure out a way to deal with the issue. Uh, a lot of this is just bouncing around in our head, and if we don't get it out by talking with you or using this forum, then you know, then it just bounces around in your head, and it'll drive you crazy.
Jason
So
saying that's the first time I've seen Andy's face.
that's funny because I saw Jason reading. Was it last night, Jason? Uh, he's a great storyteller. When he reads passages from the stuff that he's working on, you ought to check him out too because he does a fantastic job when he does it. I
So
dropped
you
him a
guys,
little bit.
Iro Eris is the one that I'm talking
Yeah,
about. So if you're on TikTok, that's who Jason is. And
yeah.
he's a great author. And he does live streams as well. He said it was this morning, in fact. The days
Okay.
and the hours are kind of clumping together. So yeah.
But we're all trying to figure out.
So if you guys want to call in, there's the link right there. I'm just gonna do it on my back camera. How's that?
Yeah.
Because then you guys can see. There's the link, or there's the QR code. You guys see
The
that?
QR code.
If you
Yeah.
take a picture of that, it's going to take you to my dashboard and you can call in, or you can type in the chat there. Like type, not the chat. You can type in the what's the word? Link. The
Link.
link.
But
Yeah.
the first thing, and you taught me this when you first started working with me. You know, step one on anything, no matter what you're doing, whether it's trying to figure out what's going on or what your next move or what your next step is, the first step is awareness. You have to become aware of what it is you're feeling. As you keep saying, name it so that you can deal with it, and then you can start to move. So I think that's the process we all need to figure out. And
Hold on, I just got a couple comments in. Ashton is saying, I got to put on my glasses. Ashton saying, we just found out yesterday my dad has not mantle cell lymphoma, some sort of cell lymphoma. Ashton, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. I went through diffuse large B cell lymphoma and it was rough. But lymphoma is one of the easiest cancers for them to treat because it's highly reactive to chemotherapy. So there is hope. The problem is now you can't keep TikTok open while you use other things, including camera. So this is true. But you can, do you see that? There's the link. You can get the link into your browser, type it into your browser, whatever your phone browser is or whatever. And then you can work with it from there. So
when it comes to all of that stuff, Bernadette's much more an early adapter than I am. But I would recommend, since we don't know what's going to happen on the 22nd, which is next week already, that folks make the transition and move on over to Restream or Facebook or YouTube and sort of plant yourself there or figure out a way to do that, because we don't know what's going to happen on the 22nd of January when it comes to TikTok.
not good things. I can tell you guys right now on my TikTok feed today, I was only getting like 10 of the same videos. It was scrolling through the same 10 videos over and over and over again, which means they're changing the algorithm. OMG, if you're on the phone, it's hard to copy and paste. Try to get over to maybe if you come over and watch us over on YouTube, Andy put the link in the comments. So then
Yeah.
you can just click the link from the comments. So that's another way. And he can put that in again. Because I don't know if you can see old comments when you feels like it's been 10 years and only 17 days. Ashley's saying on YouTube, yeah, no joke. Today itself, like today feels like it's been 2 days. I have literally I can do it on TikTok too. Put the link, except that I'm broadcasting right now. Like I can't. I got too much. There's too much going on. For
Right.
real. Too much going on.
And just to sort of give you an idea of how quixotic it is, Bernadette was trying to appeal to the powers that be at TikTok to get the live stream active, and their response to her was, "You don't meet the requirements in order for that to happen, and that's all we can tell you." It's like, well,
I said, I asked them, what are the requirements? I've been live streaming for a year, both on mobile and on desktop. And they were like, we can't tell you what those requirements are. And I'm like, lovely. That's useful. Thank you. Not. It's so
yeah,
stupid.
you don't meet the requirements, but we can't tell you what they are. So, but when you do meet them, then
Then
you'll
it'll
do
be
it.
fine. Try again in 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm going to flip this camera back because this is too much. All right. And that way I'm going to stick this over. You guys have no idea between trying to focus on this camera and that camera, two cameras on me. Yeah.
Well,
And we tried, look, you guys, I tried to use a different platform where we could integrate voice calling with a phone number. It's a lot harder than you realize to do that. I used to have a call-in show on Blog Talk Radio, and we had call-in numbers. It was all integrated, but then there was no video. Nowadays, you have to integrate a third-party phone software, voice over IP software into the broadcasting software. But the company that I found that does it, Riverside FM, happens to be owned by Jesus' home country that I can't say the name of, or they look upon that poorly. And I'm not giving money to that country. Our government keeps giving money to that country, but I'm not going to support it. So we're trying to make this work to where you can call in and just follow the link, right? literally just follow the link. So, and like I said, it's a little easier over on YouTube. Some of you guys are, I mean, our numbers went up a little bit on YouTube and Facebook as far as who's watching right now. Um, any of you guys can use that link or that QR code and come up if you want me to coach you, or you want to just talk something through, or you're going through something that's hard. And I will once again flip this camera so that you guys can see the link down.
And I'm still seeing the link
You
on
are, but
mine.
I'm talking about for TikTok. Like,
Right.
I'm
Oh,
trying to,
okay.
yeah. So, and I don't, is it backwards on TikTok? No, it's right. So you guys should be able to see it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not being able to stream like I normally do. It just on one platform, it makes it so hard. Like, it's so distracting because I don't want anyone to feel like they're not included either if they're commenting. Jason saying he's going to hop over to YouTube. Yeah, YouTube would be
Good.
for
Yeah.
real. At this point,
It's
and look, you guys, we're going to have to get over the fact that we loved TikTok for a long time. I don't know that I'm going to be there come the 23rd. I don't want to play with this stuff. I don't want to play with just all of this censorship and just seeing my feeds cut. I want to be able to help everybody and offer some things that are going to bring some sanity and calm to this whole thing. If you are in one of the states like I am where ICE is here, it sucks.
yeah.
And Ashley, I know you are. Like, it sucks. It sucks to know that you could go to the store and be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And now your whole day not only has been ruined, but now you got to wonder, does anyone know where I am if they decide to mess with you? And then they're going door to door.
Yeah. That's the craziest part of all of this because
Bernadette Gold one, Jason. It's the same. You can I have 2 YouTube channels. If you just youtube.com/Bernadette Gold and the number 1, or the Gold Factor. 2 YouTube channels. You can watch under either one.
if anything, I'm beginning, and you and I have had a quick conversation about this because I've noticed it on my TikTok scroll, is the population of all the explanations now on what to do should you come across, or should ICE come across your path. So there is the pushback that is beginning to happen, I think, is beginning to grow exponentially, and people are beginning to understand that they don't have as much power as they think they do. And when you, like with other bullies, when you push back, they pause. And when they realize that you're not buying into their BS and their false bravado, most of the time, at least some of the videos that I've seen that people are recording when they interact with them, they leave. Now, that
If
doesn't
you know
always
your
happen.
rights. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
know your rights. And I did
Yeah.
just see a video that Tim Walz is mobilizing the National Guard to go in and protect the citizens,
Yeah.
and keep everybody safe if they're protesting.
But think about that. The governor of Minnesota is mobilizing the National Guard in his state to protect the peaceful protesters from the federal government, who's trying to instigate and
Yes.
trying to foment violence so that they can call up the Insurrection Act.
Yeah. You see what Harm says? There will be a revolution in this country. No other proposal will yield any results. And you're right. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that that is what it's going to take at this point. So those of you on TikTok, that little QR code up in the corner is how you can become part of the stream if you want me to work through something with you, or if you just want to talk through how you're feeling and whatnot. Doesn't really matter. Those of you that are on YouTube and Facebook, the link is right there. for you to do so. And then we can also, let me copy it into the comments for you guys if you guys want to call in. And this is all new software for me. Andy is
Yeah,
doing his best to
I'm an
work.
audio guy, so the video aspects. But you know what? Honestly, the if we were doing this in the world that I populate, most of this conversation or in these conversations would never happen, because when you're on the federally regulated airwaves, you're restricted by what you can say and what you can do and how you can do it. We
You
are on
can't talk. You can't talk about this stuff on radio, on normal FCC radio.
not with the honesty and with the verbiage and with the transparency and the emotion that is allowed on social platforms that aren't regulated by the federal government. So there is a major upside to being able to do it this way. The conversations are much more honest and open. They sometimes are also much more toxic, but you learn to deal with those, and you can ban those people. So, but the opportunities here to exist to create a dialogue that is far more um, depth filled and thoughtful, I think, because and I'll admit this because I've been doing talk radio for 45 years. That's very cliche-ish. It's very narrow. It's very shallow, and it's full of talking points. This platform in the last year that I've had the opportunity to interact with you and you've had a chance to teach me and guide me has been much more enlightening and inspirational than the last 40 years of my career, because I was in a lane that was constraining and um, it was not expanding. This is an opportunity, and this format with you is an opportunity for everybody to expand and express themselves in ways they probably didn't even know they knew until they get the opportunity, that moment of clarity that pops into your head. So I
Yeah.
think they should take advantage of the opportunity and hop on, and it doesn't even need to be something that's important. Some of the moments of clarity that you and I have talked about have come at very I don't want to say inane moments, but in very lighthearted conversations that I've had with my colleagues at the grocery store, and somebody will say something and a thought just pops into my head based upon a key word that they said to me or an emotion that they've gotten out of me. So the moments of clarity or the moments of enlightenment don't necessarily come to you in a normal is not the word, in a sequential linear manner. So
Right.
I think part of that is, and you've taught me this over the last year, I have to be more open to listening to myself. And a lot of us have turned that off, that intuition and that gut instinct to that we all
I'm
innately.
saying the Black Panthers mobilized in Philly. There'll be a lot more of that in the coming weeks and the coming months. I don't doubt that. How do you feel about that? I'm curious how you guys feel about that, because honestly, at this point, nothing that they're doing surprises me, not one bit. I'm just curious, how do you feel about it? We know what they're doing, but how do you feel about it? How are you maintaining your peace? How are you not giving up your hope? Right? That's the important part. To me, that's always like more important than anything else. I'm going to switch my camera stand. It's bothering me.
I'm honestly not surprised the Panthers in Philadelphia are doing that. First and foremost, because the DA in Philadelphia at a news conference earlier this week basically said, we're going to start arresting the ICE the ICE guys that are violating state laws,
Are they?
and we're going to start charging them. So if you come into our city and if you guys want to break the laws, you don't have blanket immunity, and they can't pardon you because he's talking about charging them with state laws, breaking the state laws. So he's basically thrown the gauntlet down and said, hey, you can't do this in my city.
Cindy is saying, I suppose I have a question. I believe I'm doing overall well. My question is, how do I hold space for my loved ones who are not doing well and won't listen to me about thinking positive? That's a great question. Do you want to come up and talk it through, or do you just want me to talk about it? Like, I'm not going to force you to come up, but you tell me how you want to do this. If you do want to come up, you can just join into our studio through that link or that QR code. But if you want me to answer, just straight up answer, I'm willing to, right here. The signing bonus to join ICE split up over 5 years. If you don't stay for 5 years, you have to give back the bonuses. May want to ask new ICE if they read the fine print. You can come up. Okay, so Cindy, this is the link. If you grab that link, and I'm trying to see where you're watching from. I don't know where you're watching from. I see her on Facebook, but I don't know if you just got the link. The link is on the screen as well. You can type that into your browser and then you'll show up in our dashboard and then I can bring you up. It's a tough one. It's a tough one these days. Tends to have its own gravity that seems to devour everything in your life. You actually have to will yourself to resist it and remember to do what's meaningful. So very good descriptive way of putting it out there, how people feel. Book of Worms, because honestly, it's hard when you're watching social media all the time. It's hard to keep your head on straight, honestly. Like it's difficult. And how do I put this to you? It's not that I'm immune to what's going on. I don't want you guys to think that, but I want you to understand how I start my day, and hopefully this helps y'all. I start my day before my feet hit the floor, and I always say the same prayer. God, give me the eyes to see, the ears to hear, a heart to understand what you wish me to know. Help me co-create a life of love, joy, and compassion for myself and others. Always, that's how I start my day. Once I'm up and I get my hot water and I'm sitting out with my dogs, right? Who one of them wants up right now. Hang on. Come here. Stop whining. Say hello to Macy. Once I'm out there, then I start talking to spirit. Before I jump on social media, before I check the news, I ground myself right away. Right away. And make sure that I am all the way awake, fully present, very intentional. And I always set for my day how I want to show up in the world. What do I want to impart as I walk through my day and through life, right? For me, it's always different, but it doesn't range that much. You know, I want to be loving. I want to be compassionate. I want to be of service and helpful. That's the energy I want to show up in. Does it stick the whole day? No. In fact, as soon as I look at social media, my energy starts to drop, at which point then sometimes I have to get off and just go back into what do I have to be grateful for and what is safe in my life right now? Where do I feel safe, secure, supported right now? And then stay off of social media, out of the news, and get the things that I need to get done, right? If it's real bad, I will do breathing exercises to keep myself grounded. But the key to making everything work as we walk forward is you have to have a vision for the future. You have to have a point or a destination at which you are walking towards. And I'm not talking about accomplishing things. If you are a high achiever, great, go accomplish things. Right now, it feels a little more difficult. And yet we still need short-term goals. This isn't like it used to be where you could do 1 year, 5 year, 10-year goals. Now we're down to what am I going to get done in the next week, in the next 30 days? That already seems like a lot and long period because of how much is happening on a daily basis. We're getting this onslaught of bullshit that is overwhelming every day, every single day. So that's my advice to you. Is remember what you have to be grateful for, and we all have something to be grateful for. If it is, even if it's just having power, food, and sewage right now, working sewer. It's pretty simple, because when those things go away, you realize, oh shit, I took that for granted. Anyways, let me go back and grab back with Cindy. So I don't know if she's not into the dashboard, right? I don't see her. Okay.
Not yet. No.
I'll answer her question though, regardless. So Cindy's question is, and then if she does end up coming up, we'll bring her on. It says, I hold space for my loved ones who are not doing well and won't listen to me about positive thinking. This one's a hard one. Okay. Especially if you're living in the same house with people. Hopefully that's not the case. The one thing I will tell all of you right now, and this is a point that I think a lot of us have a hard time with. We don't get to choose how people are approaching life right now. We don't get to decide whether or not people are going to be positive or they're going to be negative. Obviously, for those of you that are holding space and working on yourselves, you know that you fare better when you're not constantly complaining and in the dumps. You can truly only hold space. Like, here's the deal: boundaries, and people know this about me. If you're going to call me about something, or you're going to come over and you're not happy about things and you're in a really negative space, I'm going to offer up some things to try and shift you. But if you're not going to shift and the energy just starts to tank and it wants to stay there, I will tell people, I don't want to talk about it. We got to change the subject. In fact, I'm bring Andy up, because Andy's been the recipient of Bernadette nailing him and going, no, we can't do this. We can't do this. It's not helpful.
Yes. On too many occasions to even number, but yeah. And I think that's good, because it's changed my mindset and made me more aware of my reacting, and I'm trying to react less and respond more. And there's a difference between the two, and most people would know that too when they think of the two words. Most of us are reactors, and if we paused and thought and responded, the conversations would probably be a whole lot better. But to your point about the mindsets and stuff, and you taught me this, and I used to do it just because, but through the course of, once again, the last year that I've been working with you, or you've been working with me, I understood the importance of first thing in the morning, and you do it, is carving out time for yourself. So you create your mindset before you walk out the door. Before, in my previous life, as soon as I got up, I was sort of like a fireman. I put my clothes on and I was out the door to start my day. Now, the first half hour of my day is committed to me and myself in quiet. I don't look at my phone. I drink my lemon water and take my supplements and stuff, and then I sit down and I spend a half hour with myself to compose and get my mind ready before I walk out the door and take on the world. And that to me is the most important part of my day, is how I start it. And now I'm beginning to learn the other part of it is how you end it, to get rid of the clutter in your mind, so that when you go to sleep, you can have a good night's sleep, to get rid of all the stuff I may have amassed in my head through the course of the day. I need to get that out through journaling, or through, watching K-dramas, because they make me relax now. That's another thing that Bernadette's turned me on to, that, helps me wipe my mind clean at the end of the evening.
Hold on. I just realized they changed the call-in number. So hold on. It looks like the same. Hold on. I just copied it. It looks the same to me.
I can't tell the difference either.
EOU, JVSU. Hold on, I'm looking back up at what we shared in here. It is different. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so this is the proper call-in link. Sorry, you guys. I don't know why they changed it. Or maybe that's my bad. That's the right one. Right there's the right one. So I'm sorry, Miss Cindy. That was on me. They had her in a waiting room because that's the one we initially had. I didn't realize they changed the link on here. See, we're learning. This is all kind of a mess. So if you guys do want to come up, that's how you do so.
It's the blessing and the curse of being live. It's fun and it's exciting, and we're working without a net. So, yeah, we apologize
Working
in
without a
advance.
net. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so back to my point with someone scan the QR code. Okay, now we know it's working. So hopefully we're good. When someone's negative, like the one thing that I will tell all of you is it's hard to let go and detach from wanting someone to shift, wanting someone to think positive, wanting someone to understand it's better for them, because some people are just embedded in negativity. We are in a point, I was telling my dad this the other day, like we're in this point on this planet right now where we truly are at a place where things are sifting through. Like people are taking sides. We are seeing who is choosing to walk in light and choosing to stay in heart and choosing to go the other direction. People are making decisions. The Bible said in their text, there will come a day where spirit will separate the wheat from the chaff. And I think that's what's happening too right now. But as much as we want to create a safe space for people, I think that we can, but when they're super negative and they're losing it and they're not willing to shift or listen to anything, we have to then step away and let them choose. People sometimes need to hit bottom at their own pace before they're going to see that they can't take it anymore. Right? I share in Charm Life the story of my horse training when I used to train horses, doing it with an around pen, and how horses typically will fight you if they're scared or if they're just being stubborn for all of about 20 to 25 minutes, most of them. And then they will just submit. They can't take that amount of tension for that long. It literally, their bodies don't want to hold it. Humans are like that, but we can hold that tension for years before we will release it. It will do a number on your health. It will destroy your immune system. It will hurt your stomach. But we can't force people to think differently. We can't force people into reacting differently. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work. It does not work. So Book of Worms is saying with Jason, doing similar these days. I get up, try to pull my dreams, enter them into a file in Google Docs, try to figure it out, meditate. Cool. Yeah, it's not as easy as a norm, the way things were even a year ago. Things have progressed rather quickly in this country to a place where it's not so easy. It's just not super easy to keep our heads on straight. So yeah.
Agreed. It's not easy. And that's why, for me, the first half hour of the morning for me is the most important part of my day, because you never know once you open the door and go out into the world what you're going to be challenged with on any given day. So having the proper mindset and having the proper tools, most of the tools, honestly, that Bernadette's given me over the last year. I mean, in some respects, I think, and you and I have talked about this before, Bernadette, I've lived a charmed life, I think, to this point, or at least I thought I did. And when my 43-year relationship ended, I thought, okay, I've had a good run. It's kind of cool. I'm good. And my interactions with Bernadette showed me that I had more gas in my tank and that I was shortchanging myself and that I needed to um, challenge myself more. That I was in a lane that had, like in the bowling alley, if you're in a bowling alley and you're learning how to bowl, they put those rubber bumpers up so you never hit the gutter ball. That's sort of the lane my life was, and I was comfortable with it. And she nudged me and continues to nudge me to challenge myself and become uncomfortable. I'd become too comfortable with who I was, and I was happy with it. And now I'm much more happy with being uncomfortable because that
You
means
were
I'm growing.
grieving a loss, though.
Yeah, but and my personality, the grieving part, it took me a while to get to the celebrating part, and it did because it took me 6 months before I picked up the phone and called you, and that was because Amelia came to me in a dream and said, "Call Bernadette," and I don't know honestly if she had not done that, if I would have had the guts to call you, because at that point I was a very insular person, and I kept my own counsel. And that's the other part of this sacred community, I think, which is cool because most of us keep our own counsel because we think that the troubles and the challenges we have are ours alone, and there's nobody out there that understands that. But when you get into a setting like with Hidden Wisdom and Charm Life, and you hear the stories and you realize, you know what, we're all the same and we're going through the same issues. And when
Yeah.
you get together with people that are honest and are there to help you, like they are in Charm Life and Hidden Wisdom, you can open up and you can say the things that you've never said to anybody except yourself and your mind. And when you reach those moments, they're so freeing and they're so revelatory when you
It's
realize,
easier to become more authentic.
yeah,
When you like, I think it's a good place to practice, right? Um, I think it's a good place to practice
yeah,
being yourself in those groups because you know that those people are going to support you. You know that they're going to be there and not make it difficult for you to work things out for yourself and whatnot,
yeah. And
right?
Ashley's out there and she's been in the group longer than I have, but you know, the scary part, not scary part, but the revelatory part for me was I thought I was authentic and I thought I was open and all the other stuff that I described myself as, but I realized that was just um, a shallow interpretation of who I was.
Harm
And
saying, keep my own counsel because nobody but me can fully understand. I mean, there's a lot of people that feel that way, but honestly, it's not true.
yeah, well, and I would often joke with myself when people hear me, talking to myself. I said, well, that's the only way I can have an intelligent conversation is to speak to myself. And there are people that honestly think that way, that nobody would understand me if I opened up. But what you realize in your groups, Charm Life and Hidden Wisdom, is no, there are universal challenges that we all face, and when you face them together, there's strength in that.
Yeah. Ashley's saying that right there. I thought the same thing. Yeah. I think a lot of people do. A lot of times we think that we're the only ones that understand.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if we've got something going on. Um, and it doesn't, I mean, because people are scanning the thing, but we're not getting people, like, you guys aren't popping up on our window.
No, and you're welcome to.
You're welcome to come up and call in and all those things. I'll have to see if there is a way to integrate a voice over IP with Restream so we can use a phone number, but that gets complicated and it gets expensive. And I'm not looking to spend money on this stuff. I already had to pay for this software, which is very expensive, and I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart. So
I
have
think they'll
never
figure
really
it
been
out, and I
supported.
think this just seems much easier to execute.
I think so too.
And once again,
I'm
this is from
saying he's
my
never really been supported, and now when others offer it, I don't want it. I hear you. I hear you, but I think that we all can we we all can learn how to accept that space being held for us, right? It's an interesting thing because
Well, you walked me through that the last year because the first thing that you hopped on for me was that I enjoyed giving. I was not good at receiving. So if somebody wanted to help me like you were helping me, or if somebody wanted to gift me something or do something for me, I was not. It's not that I was never open to it, but yeah, I guess that's probably an accurate depiction. I got more enjoyment out of make giving than I did out of receiving. So I had to learn, and I'm still learning how to receive things from people, including my own sisters who are very given people. So
yeah,
yeah, I think there's a commonality there, and I don't know where that comes from because my family was very giving. So the idea that I was not good at receiving, when you pointed that out to me, it took me a while to acknowledge that because I grew up in a family in which we all did for each other without having to be asked or expecting anything in return. And maybe that's where that part comes from. I don't know. But yeah, and I'm still, learning how to be a better receiver. And I think all of us need to work on that because
probably.
and you point this out, so much of what we do in our lives is transactional. So if somebody does something for me, does that mean is there a return that is going to be expected if they're doing something for me? And I don't normally work that way or think that way because of the way I was raised, but I know that's a common response. It's like, well, or if you do something for someone, they go, well, I wasn't expecting that. And they feel compelled to return the favor, return whatever the largesse was. It's like, no, I just felt like doing something for you.
Harm saying have been and continue to be tortured by time. In what way? What do you mean? That's an interesting comment. Andy has always had, and I asked because I have had to work with Andy, and he's got has had a lot of blocks about time, wasting time, you know. So that's an interesting comment to me. Yeah. So you guys have any of you guys tried? I've seen a couple people scan that code. Um, have you guys tried to come up onto our stream with that QR code or with the link? Let us know in the comments because this is the first run with this software trying to take the live calls. So I want to see if the system's actually working, or if we're going to have to figure out a different integration with this software because I already paid for a year. So this is
Or,
the
or if there's some
software.
bugs that need to get worked out, because once again, if there's something wrong with it, you contact the tech people and then they figure it out.
Oh, the interesting. If something isn't done at the right time, I don't want it when it is offered otherwise.
You know what? I've been there, but in a different manner. And your auntie, and she was chronically late. So my thing was, you know what? If we're not there on time, we're not going.
Hey, here comes Cindy. Let's bring her
Ooh.
up. I'm going to take Andy off.
Oh, okay. I tried the link that you sent
Yeah. Hey, girl. I don't know if
in
you
the
want to be on camera or not. I just brought you up as you were. So,
I'm okay.
okay. What's up, girlfriend?
Well, I mean, I think you kind of answered it. Holding space for somebody that's spiraling down,
Mhm.
and then a loved one,
So why
and
are they
then me.
spiraling down? That's the first question.
It was they watch the news very often, and they're
Um,
taking everything extremely personal, and then they just started pulling up their personal past mistakes, and we're talking about like 2 to 3 years past mistakes, and I'm just like, huh? And And they just started spiraling down, and I'm like, hey, think positive, or go for a walk, or write it all down, or hey, let's start hiking. And it's just like
Okay.
they're
So that's okay. So here's what I would do, right? If that were me. First, I'm going to give space if somebody has to tell me how they're feeling in my personal life like that, right? And they're spiraling. I'm going to give them that space for a minute. Just go ahead and get it out. But now, if we're getting stuck in the story, telling someone to try and think positive is probably not going to do anything but piss them off. Like that, instantaneously, they're going to get defensive. You don't understand is probably what they're going to say, right? Is that
that
about
makes
right?
sense.
That is usually the comeback. You don't understand. I'm trying, right? You just, how can I think positive? It reminds me of this. It reminds me of the like. So in that regard, there's only a couple things you can do. Literally only a couple things you can do. You can say, well, I would like to help you feel more safe. And I know about this thing called tapping, EFT. And here you can go watch it on YouTube. It's absolutely free, right? And try and tap down your stuff, right? That's one way. Or, hey, come into Bernadette's Hidden Wisdom community for $40 a month and get coaching once a month. And then you have access to all these other things in there where you can learn how to start to settle your nervous system and how to grow and all these things. If the answer is no, 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 that's not for me, I can't be helped, then it comes down to then, okay, what can I do for you? That's where then I just start asking questions of them. Do you want to feel better? And here's the important, like, that's the thing. Sometimes you guys, sometimes you got to just ask questions. Do you want to feel calmer? Do you want to feel better? Do you want to not be so negative? Do you like how you feel? You know, let them tell you, because maybe, just maybe, chance, there's always a chance, them just hearing their answers to those simple questions is going to spark something, right? Rather than trying to tell someone what to do, sometimes we just have to ask those questions, like, but why does that really scare you? Why does that remind you of what happened 2 or 3, like, does what happened 2 or 3 years ago have anything to do with today? Or are you bringing what happened 2 or 3 years ago into today, and it's making this big messed up pile that you can't even make sense of anymore?
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to hold space for them for like 3 weeks, but then it just kind of, after a while, it did overwhelm me. But I like do you like how, do you want to feel that way? Do you like how you feel? So I think I wrote that down, so I'm going to use that. And then I've asked them to go on YouTube and listen to the audiobooks of Neil Garter. I think you're the one that told us about it in Term Life. Neville.
Neville Goddard.
Yes, yes. And it helped me significantly when I realized I was going to court. And then I just go to bed and I just listen to that. And it just like, it helped me like flip a lot of stuff, as well as like doing the salt bath and writing things out and already visualizing what's going to happen. And so that's going to help me with my loved one. Thank you.
Yeah. Just know, like, there comes a point in time you can hold space for as long as you can hold space. But if someone is addicted to the negativity and the drama, then the next question becomes, but what can I do to help? Is there anything that I can do to help? And if the answer is no, then maybe you let it go.
Okay.
Like, you just let them know, like, I have my own emotions over what's going on right now too. It's scary too, but I'm doing everything I can to keep my energy up, to keep my attitude and my mindset positive, and practical things to keep myself safe, my kids safe, and everything in order, right? Those are the things I can control. So what can you control? That's,
Right.
always put it back on that. Like, what is it you can control right now that's going to make you feel like you have some power?
That's, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, honey. Hope that
Okay.
helps.
A lot.
Thanks for
Thank you.
jumping up. I'm
Mhm.
glad it finally worked.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye. All right. Hey, Leah, what's up? It's good to see you. Good. So it worked. We got a guest up. It worked. Woo. Yay.
By the comments that I'm reading, I guess people, maybe I'm not so alone in the challenges when it comes to time and the use or the misuse or the wasting of time or the way we perceive it to be.
I'm trying to catch up on the comments because apparently I missed something.
Well, just the fact that people have, whether they expect things to happen on their time, and I know as opposed to other people's time. And I grew up in a place where we have what we call Hawaiian time, which means people really don't follow a clock per se. We get to stuff when we feel like it. And so, yeah, it's interesting that maybe my construct is not that unusual. Maybe it's just extreme.
So it took me a long time once I moved out to the country, out of California, where everything was very hustle culture, and things in the country don't happen quite as fast because of how far you are from town. So I had to really learn, like, if I needed help with something, I couldn't expect it to be done in my expectation window. Like, I had to be more flexible. That trained me really well in my life at this age. Living like that for 18 years after living most of my life in the fast lane, in the hustle culture, it took a bit, but I learned. When you read, let me ask you guys a question. Have you read the Four Agreements? Harm. Question for you. Like, have you read the Four Agreements? One of the Four Agreements talks about how a lot of times we put our expectations for other people onto them. We project it onto them, and it's not fair. Like, they don't have the same agreement with us that we are expecting them to have. And then we get angry because they aren't meeting those expectations. In Buddhism, that's the whole thing, is not having these unreasonable expectations. I have learned to believe that everything happens in its perfect time, maybe not when I want it or think I need it, but in its perfect time. It's always on time.
See, I've always believed that too, but for some reason, in amidst all that stuff, that everything happens when it's supposed to in its time, I've also had the very narrow blinders about, if you're not early, you're late, or stuff like that, or and maybe it's because, once again, I spent 40 years in a format in the radio business where you hit stuff on time. You hit the news at the top of the hour, you hit the news at the bottom of the hour, and you have to hit things, we call it dead nuts, exactly on time. So maybe that's part of my construct and something that has been embedded that I need to extract, because, and at the radio station I work, the people on my side of the building, the news side, are the only people that are on time for meetings and appointments and stuff, because that's our life, is hitting stuff on time. Whereas the other guys, the music formats that flow, okay, if I walk in 10 minutes late to the meeting, what's the big deal?
Right. But okay, but when it comes to getting personal help, when it comes to sharing what you need with others, and allowing people to help you on a personal level, you have to be, I don't know, I think you have to be flexible, right? With when people
Yeah,
are available.
see, I guess that's the, um,
Not
it's
on a
like,
business is a whole different level, and certain things do need to be done when you're talking business. There are deadlines. We all have them in
right.
business, right? If I say I'm going to show up at 7 o'clock, I got to show up at 7 o'clock, or I'm not good for my word. That's one thing. But when we're going to someone and putting our trust in them, and we need someone to hold space for us, like we were talking about, you do have to be willing to accept the help when it's offered and when it's available. And it isn't always available, but like I said, I always believe everything in its perfect time. I believe if there isn't anyone around at the time to help me with what I'm needing, then I really don't need that help at that time. Then the universe or my higher self knows best that, hey, now you're going to work through this on your own for a minute. And then when that person's around, maybe I still need a little bit of help, but that's that flexibility.
Yeah, and you're right. And once again,
People should not want me to lower my expectations of them. So I'm confused. Harm, you're welcome to jump up, like scan that code, or jump in and jump on, like have a conversation with me, with us, because I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
That makes it sound like her or his expectation level of that person is higher than their expectation level of themselves.
What do you mean?
Well, it says people should not
No,
want
because
me
it says, but if you go all the way up, it says, I am others before I am me, so my expectations are not my own. Really? I don't understand that. People should not want me to lower my expectations of them. Again, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Like, I know that there's a certain level of rationale the way that you think, but the way that I think, it doesn't make sense to me. So like I said, if you want to come up, come into
Explain
the
it, yeah.
dashboard and explain it. Because I'm
I
sure
sort of
it makes sense to you. I'm just I don't want to misunderstand.
I sort of understand that a little bit, or at least what I'm being, how I'm filtering that, because, and you and I have had this conversation about why I felt I had to leave the islands to find myself, because the expectation level and the depiction of who I was to my family was probably inaccurate. And in order for me to get out of that expectation of who I was, I had to leave the family fold to go out and find myself and create my own expectation levels of what I expected from myself. Because the familial bubble that I grew up in, which was a very loving uh, circumstance, could also be a little suffocating because of their depiction of who they thought I was. So I sort of understand that idea of the expectations, but um,
He's saying everything occurs in its perfect time, but I won't believe it before it happens. That's where I see. I believe things will happen in their perfect time, and I do believe before it happens. That's how I've been able to manifest crazy things in life and crazy things, because I expect them to, I do believe that they're going to happen. I believe in the amount of power I have to create things as well.
In order for them to happen, you have to believe they're going to happen. So yeah. So
That's the law of expectations. There is a universal law called the law of expectation. And literally, the law of expectations is about you get what you expect. If you expect, like if you think that something's not going to happen, or I'm not going to believe it until I see it, there's no faith in that. There's no believing in yourself and the power at which you have to put energy out to create things. And that like attracts like, right? Or cause and effect is real, or all of the basic energetic principles. And these are basic principles. Like, we're not talking advanced manifesting techniques. We're talking basic principles of universal law. What you put out comes back to you, usually multiplied, amplified, magnified, however you want to put that. Put out good's going to come back. Put out bad, it's going to come back and smack you in the face. If I am envisioning something strongly with emotion, and it hits that place where I know it's mine, I know it's coming into being. I don't know how, but I know it's coming into being. It always does. It always does. I want to be fully in my pain. until the healing settles in. I don't have faith in the same way others do. I'm sorry, Armageddon. Yeah. I've been in pain a lot throughout my life, and I don't tend to set up new situations for myself and rules for myself that I have to stay in pain for a certain amount of time. Like, how do you know when the healing settles in? Like, what does that mean? I there's a lot of things about that I don't understand. And maybe it's just because it's text versus talking, but yeah, I'm trying to understand. I want to understand. It's very difficult for me to understand how you're putting that. Um, I don't know how many people do we like to be in pain that much? And I don't have faith in the same way that none of us hold our faith the same way as others, but if faith is believing before you see. That is simple as it can be. You have to believe before you see it. You know, I believe in energy, even though I can't see it. I believe that there is an afterlife, even though I'm in this life. I believe that spirits are real, that ghosts are real. I believe in a lot of things that I can't see. And funny enough, we are very resistant to say that we have faith, and yet all of us have faith that our belief systems are fucking real and it's the only truth there is. True or not true, Andy?
Yeah. And when, I was raised Catholic, so my belief systems are basically Catholic, but over the course of, my life, and the idea that I'm somebody that likes to chronically challenge myself or read and research new things, you find other perspectives and you challenge your foundations. And I've told you the stories about my catechism and first Holy Communion, and being a smart ass little kid wondering why at 8 years old I've got to tell the priest my sins, or if God is supposed to be everywhere, why do I have to go to church on Sunday?
Right.
Yeah, and to the point where when I was going to catechism classes, they would just tell me to be quiet and memorize my prayers. So
So Harm is saying everything must occur organically. I won't expedite my way out of pain, especially mental pain. I don't recommend anybody expedite their way out of pain. I think pain and suffering and trauma takes its own time, and it's different for every single person. I never suggest anyone rush through any of that. It is going to happen organically. You can't force someone out of pain, no matter how hard you try. I don't care who you are. People are going to sit in what they sit in for as long as they need to sit in it. I'm not saying anything about that. But for myself, I'm telling you, I'd never put any kind of guardrails up to how long it's going to take for me to heal, how long it should take, how long I need to feel pain, because pain doesn't always equal growth. Pain is usually there because we have something we need to heal or grow through. Like if we're grieving, that's going to take time, right? We're in that. Andy knows this. I coached him through the death of my aunt because they were partners for over 40 years. Like it takes time and you can't rush that, And we all want to know when we're in the midst of unbearable heartache and pain, how long am I going to be stuck here? What's it going to take? How long is it going to take? And then nobody has an answer for that. Everybody grieves very differently and for different amount of time. I know people that are grieving 20 years later. They've never gotten beyond it.
yeah, I've got it, and I've told you about the friend that I have, that on the passing of her husband, the love of her life, every anniversary, of his death, it still haunts her. And that, I don't know that we should celebrate events like that, but Erica does, and that's the way she deals with it, her grief and her pain. And and we were talking this week about, it's a different kind of pain, or maybe it's a lack of grief. My brother is not in good health, and my sister texted me saying that, and I looked at the text and I didn't feel anything. And then I began to feel bad because I didn't feel anything.
Yeah, that's programming. That's
Yeah.
literally that's that belief that you have to feel something. But like when I was going through a big part of my traumas in my 20s and 30s and healing all of that, I didn't work on healing it. Although I went to therapy, it didn't work. I didn't work on myself other than going to therapy and studying until it finally reached this fever pitch of I've got to get beyond this. I need to be a mother now, and I need to be a healthy person for my child, especially when she went through her stuff. There was no rushing the pain and the healing there, but it did take me acknowledging once you become aware of why you're in that place of trauma, once you become aware of all of the triggers and all of the things that are wrapped into that, then you begin to walk your way out of it. Then you begin to heal those wounds truly at a deep level. Like I can talk about all my traumas, all the bad things that have ever happened to me, and I don't have any more emotional eruption, reaction, whatever, because it has been healed. I don't even recognize that person I was when I was going through it. But when you're so identified with it, that is when you can't get beyond it. And it's an interesting thing. All of us do it at a different level. All of us do it at a different level.
And you're right. We do it in a different way. For me, which I guess it also reinforces your idea of journaling. When I started to go through the garage and the banker's boxes of 40 years of memories, and a picture or a journal entry would bring back a nice memory. So the grief was slowly replaced by me journaling on Facebook and telling stories about Mailie and me and putting pictures to it. And the grief got replaced by all the good memories that we had over the 40 some odd years. And that's the way I healed over the last year or so, or actually it's 3 years now. But people do it in different ways and figure out a different way to do it. And
I
it plays
guess
into
I'm a doubting Thomas who won't believe before I see. I mean, you get to be like, yeah, that's nobody gets to tell you to be any different. You get to be. I just don't want to be a doubting Thomas, at all. I I tend to be open-minded. I tend to be growth-oriented and growth-minded, which then allows me to connect to spirit. It allows me to be flexible. It allows me to get messages that will heal me, whether it's through music, through a friend, through watching someone else's video. Like I'm open to receiving whatever the universe wants to send my way. And I know that they are always sending things my way. I don't have those doubts. Doubt is one of those energies that really can block a lot of stuff for us, a lot of stuff for us. And it's an unfortunate, it's an unfortunate thing when we get stuck in doubt, but you get to choose. Like no one gets to tell you how to live your life. I just don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what you've taught me once again over the last couple of years is the question is, okay, you're in that circumstance. That's who you are right now. Is that the highest and best use of your time? Is that who you really want to be? And if the answer is yes, okay, that's your choice. But if it's not yes, then you need to figure out, well, why am I still stuck there? What is there? And you've helped me work out through a couple of things going back to when I was 4 or 5 years old, and the idea of nobody wanting to play with me, and I felt like I was abandoned. So that's the question to ask yourself. Okay, I guess I'm going to be a doubting Thomas. Yeah, you can if you want to be, but is that what you really want to be?
Well, the question then becomes like, what do you get out of that? Like, what's the benefit of being a doubting Thomas? And I always ask my people this in Charm Life, all right, cool. If either on a belief or a way of being that we choose, I always ask them, like, what's the benefit to you? What does that allow you if you stay in that place? Whether it's being a doubting Thomas or being inflexible or just holding on to a belief system that doesn't serve you, the question is always going to be, what are you benefiting? There's always a side benefit, even to the most insane things that we allow into our lives and continue in our lives, right? Like when we don't choose ourselves, when we don't have boundaries, there are benefits there, because in some ways we then blame other people. We don't have to take personal responsibility and have our own agency. When we blame other people, we're like, oh, it's their fault, you know, their fault, their fault, their fault. There's a benefit there. Is it true that it's their fault? Not necessarily. But does it let you off the hook, and then it allows you to remain unchanged, ungrown? Yeah, there's the benefit. Is it a true benefit though? Is it hurting you or helping you? I would say most of the time it's hurting us.
Yeah.
You know, it allows me to see things that others will not. Like what? Like being a doubting Thomas allows you to see what? Exactly. I'm curious. Like really, what does it allow you to see? What am I not seeing in not having doubt, I guess? So inform us. I would love to know. It's an interesting thought.
I can sort of reimagine that, just because in the world we live in, it's so much easier. And if you replace the word with, if you take doubt and make the word negative, it's so much easier to be negative in this world. And it takes so much more energy to be positive, or try to look at what's the upside to this circumstance. And there's always
It doesn't
something.
take more energy. Think about this for a minute, my friend. You got that backwards, I think. Maybe, maybe not.
Well,
It
no, no.
takes more
Well,
energy to be negative, stay negative. It literally, it absorbs and utilizes so much more energy than if you're positive. Being positive doesn't take energy, it actually generates energy within you and outside of you. Being negative actually does exactly the opposite. So did you mean it
I
that
would
way?
agree with that, and because I am most of the time a very positive person, or at least that's what people perceive me to be. But I work at it, because I'm actually, as a kid, I was actually pretty much a smart ass, which means most of the comments that came out of my mouth initially when I was reacting to people were negative comments, because those are the ones that get laughs from people. And when you're a smart ass little kid and you say stuff, most of the time you're mocking people. So I understand that. But so I had to work consciously at not reacting and being a better person, because I am a good person and I know I am. So to stop and hold my tongue and be better at that. But I also populate a world, and you know this, of politics, where people go negative because that's what people remember.
It's what sells.
And that's what sells. Fear
It
and
is.
negativity sell. And I'm not a big proponent of that anymore. But yeah, most of my career, I've been very successful at putting together radio stations that's what they sell. And
If
um,
people realize that that's most of what media is. So Harmageddon is saying, recall, I see before I believe, others believe before they see. Okay. Well, we're going to leave that one there because, like, that's cool. Totally cool. Anyhow, so we are over an hour in, and it was okay. We got one call in. We know the system works. It's unfortunate that TikTok won't let us stream onto TikTok.
that's going to be
It
their loss.
is going to be their loss. I think one thing we learned tonight while doing this is check the link because it changes, which sucks because that means hours before we do the UNKNOT show, I'm going to have to log into the system and keep it logged in on my,
We'll do a
like,
self test. Yeah.
no, I'm going to
Well,
have to log into the studio before we go live hours before to lock that in so it
ah,
doesn't change, which is takes a lot of bandwidth from my computer. But I think that's the only way we're gonna be able to do it, because that's how that has to be done. So, but now we know it's not the same link every time. In my book, it should be the same link every time to make it easy, but apparently that's not how Restream works. They don't save the link. It's a different link every time. So we learned. Those of you watching, especially over on TikTok, or not TikTok, Facebook and YouTube, hopefully it was helpful tonight. Put in the comments if it was. Let us know.
Yeah, give us some feedback. What do you think of the first foray? And if you have some ideas about what you'd like Bernadette to touch on next week or whenever her next.
It'll be Saturday.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the UNKNOT just once a week. I don't have the capacity to do more than that right now. So yeah.
Cool. This was fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. You're fun. You're fun, Andy. And everybody on TikTok, I mean, you're always in the comments, so it's nice for people to be able to see you for once.
Now they've seen my face. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. You have a beautiful face. You're just used to being behind the scenes, behind the microphone, and not on camera.
That's that's the beauty of radio, is that you can be inconspicuous and you can, I had this conversation when I was in college with people that wanted to do TV as opposed to radio, and they thought radio was a dying industry. Why would you want to do that? I said, because I can remain anonymous. I don't have to put makeup on every time I leave the house. I don't have to look immaculate and be well dressed every time I leave the house, like reporters and anchors have to do, because there's this image of them. They can't be seen without looking impeccable. And the other aspect of this is there are so many other people that can screw you up in TV, radio, or this platform. It's Bernadette and a microphone. It's me and a microphone. It's very simple.
Yeah.
And there aren't any filters. It's very transparent. It's very honest. So I've always loved radio far more than I've loved TV.
Cindy says it was very helpful. I enjoyed all the information. Pat on TikTok says, nice to meet you, Andy.
Pat, I enjoyed your comments on TikTok too. Move on over.
Move on over. Come to the light side come to the tube right now.
Yeah, come over to the
from now. I mean, look, you guys, this is reality. Like I'm not great at making a bunch of content because I am busy, and content creation is a lot of work, but I have no problem going live. And if I can go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, and maybe we'll add Substack in, because I can add Substack in. Great, fine, beautiful, wonderful. TikTok is just not allowing me to stream through Restream for whatever reason, and they're not answering the questions as to why. But also, the issue becomes come Wednesday or Thursday of next week, when it's owned by Ellison and friends. I don't know that anyone's either going to be left behind. A lot of the creators I follow are saying they're leaving the platform and going back to YouTube. Some are going to Instagram. I'm not an Instagram girly. I don't like it. Never have. I'm going to stay on the Facebook, both on my business page and my personal page, which is how I'm streaming right now. And then on both of my YouTube channels, which is how we're streaming right now. I can go all four at the same time. And it's not a big deal. I can go on to Substack if I want to. I'm hoping that Skylight and Blue Sky get it together so that we have someplace else to go. But I am going to miss the international conversations and videos. I think we all are. And this is all part of everything that's going on in the world right now. Jesus' home country's leader wanted to get rid of TikTok, wants to control and censor. YouTube's not necessarily censoring. Facebook is not necessarily knocking you off the platform. They're just not showing you. I have 25,000 followers on Facebook. They will not show my stuff to my followers. So it's crazy. It's been a battle all these years as they decide what they want us to talk about, see, and hear. And it's a pay-to-play system. But you can always find me on YouTube. Like, I'm not going off of YouTube, but it's harder to get discovered on YouTube. Nothing's like TikTok's algorithm. So we'll see how that goes next week. Like I said, today I was getting the same 10 videos. No matter how much I scrolled, those same videos were repeating on TikTok. It was irritating. When you're on the For You page, when you're on your following page, it's all old videos. When you're on the For You page, the same 10 videos.
Yeah.
It was like they just did this cutoff. It was the weirdest thing. And then 4 of those videos were advertisements. They were for TikTok Shop.
I'm wondering because they said when they were going through the transition that they were going to literally go through everybody's videos that they've posted, and if they found that objectionable, they were going to hold you accountable, even with the new standards. I don't, I'm not a big fan of grandfathering or going back and penalizing you for stuff with new standards, but uh, maybe that's why some of the old videos are being posted, but they're also being time-stamped currently. And if you don't follow the news as closely as you and I do, you don't know some of that stuff that's getting resent and putting a current, like today's date on it. You're thinking, I could watch some of Parnas' stuff and know, no, that's months old, but they're putting today's timestamp on it.
Well, they did that with a bunch of the impeachment stuff from how many years ago?
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, So crazy. But yeah, whatever. It is what it is. We champion on, we go forward.
Well, I don't possess your psychic abilities, but my forecast um, for TikTok America going forward is it's just going to be an echo chamber for Trump and the IDF.
Unfortunately, I think you're right, but let's see how fast it goes down. Where are you guys on TikTok going? Where's everybody going? And those of you on Facebook and YouTube, do you like it over on Facebook and YouTube? Like, what's your favorite? I want to know what everybody's favorite platform is. Everybody has their comfort zone, for sure. Everybody has their comfort zone, but I'm always curious. I don't spend much time on Facebook. I know you don't either, Andy.
No.
I do a lot of YouTube Googling, like search. I mean, right now I'm researching a ton of stuff on solar generators and setups and installation and solar panel DIY, build your own racks and stuff like that. So I'm always on YouTube looking up certain things, and I watch podcasts on YouTube. But I'm curious what your favorite platform is, and where are you going to go when TikTok's done? Or maybe we just don't care.
I will give the Chinese credit because their algorithm is really dialed in, and they have figured out a way to hook us. And because when you came over to TikTok, it was like, no, it's for younger people. And then I hopped over because you were there. Then I started watching, and I got hooked. And I left Facebook because Facebook was boring, and it is still boring. Um, but YouTube's a 600-pound gorilla,
Yeah.
and people are still there. Like you said, you've got a lot of folks that are there.
So Lillian, who's in the Netherlands, is saying, always liked YouTube and Facebook, not a fan of TikTok. Just watch you there, not an Instagram fan. Yeah, I'm not an Instagram fan. Cindy, currently TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook in that order. Yeah, that's mine too. But TikTok, I'm quickly becoming very disillusioned with all of the things they've done to my account, which is why I'm not making content right now, because what's the point when they're going to suppress it or tell me I don't qualify for anything? Love YouTube for learning. Yeah, me too. I just got to get better at doing videos over there because you have to make the thumbnail and all the other things. It's a lot more work for me, which is why doing lives is not a big deal. Yeah, we'll schedule the next live. Today I was feeling very sick earlier. I had a weird day energetically. So I didn't get to schedule it, but I sent an email out to everybody with the wrong link. Go figure. Yeah.
The most important aspect I will say about Bernadette being live as opposed to creating content, and because I'm a content creator on the audio side, I know how difficult it is to create content. The beauty of Bernadette being live is we get the opportunity to plug into all her years of experience. When you watch her content, it's a specific issue that she's dealing with that's very well researched, but it's one thing, one moment, one issue. In this format, we never know where Bernadette's going to go. and with the
Because I
length
never
of
know where you guys want to go. I just follow
exactly,
what
and that's
everybody's
why
lead is. Yeah,
this format is a blessing because it can go anywhere we want it to go,
true.
and that's it. And it's we're respectful and we're all honest and we want to grow, and that's what we're all here for. And I think it's a great format. That's why I still love talk radio, even though it's got a lot of downside to it. I still believe in it because it's still, in its purest form, communicating with one another is still the best thing there is.
Yeah,
This is just the next level
true. Yeah.
with a better host.
Ha ha ha.
Yes, whose intentions are pure and she wants to help people. And you know that. That's the reason I'm here, because I believe in you and what you do, and I think you're helping people. And I can't say that for a lot of people that I work with.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Your like your belief in me does wonders, especially when I'm doubting. What are you crying about? Oh
I
my
think
god.
Macy's saying it's time to go.
I know it's time to go. Let's go watch some K dramas. We'll follow Bernadette everywhere. Aw, Lillian. Thank you. I saw you made an appointment, so I'll go check my schedule. We were already into the dashboard, so I didn't see what day or what time it's for. But I wish you guys a very, very happy weekend. I wish I could tell you things are going to be great and fine and beautiful and wonderful, and that's just not where we're at right now. So I'm not going to lie to you and fill you full of sunshine, but I am going to tell you things can be wonderful, beautiful, and awesome in the moments we choose them to be, no matter what is going on this crazy ride, no matter what is going on. So yeah, decide how you want to feel, and don't let these people that want to rule all of our things and all of us ruin it for you. It ain't worth it. Yeah. So have a good night over on TikTok. Have a great night. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for hopping on, Cindy. That helped a ton. And yeah, we'll see you guys next Saturday for sure. I'm sure I'll be live. Oh, wait a minute. We have Hidden Wisdom this Wednesday. So I'm sure I'll be live either Monday or Tuesday night. I have potentially jury duty this week. I have maybe jury duty on Tuesday. I won't know until Monday. But yeah, we'll see. So we'll see what my schedule bears out this week and who needs what from me, and then we'll go from there. But we will be back for sure next Saturday. Thanks, Mr. Andy. It was cool having you on here.
My pleasure. I had a great time, and thank you for spending time with us. We appreciate it.
Oh, Lillian, don't curse me like that. Look at her. No, no, no,
It'd have to be more than one session. So
no. I don't want that. No, thank you. No, my energy can't handle that. No. No, there's some people that I refuse to help, and people like him that are criminals and have hurt children, and women. No, I don't. Find somebody else. Not me. Not me. Not me. I'd have to draw the line somewhere, and right there, like the big line drawn.
we all have boundaries.
Also, because I don't think anybody can really help him at this point in his life.
There is that.
That's just honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah.